All right, so as I mentioned earlier, tonight is sponsored by Motorrad Central, and I'd like to welcome onto the stage Chiz. I think you might be known as Big Chiz, but I can't figure out why. And Chiz is going to talk us through pre-riding checks, motorcycle maintenance and stuff that get your hands dirty. Chiz.
Hello everybody. Well, thanks very much for having us guys from Motorcycle Law. It's great to be involved with tonight, and thank you to everyone here that's turned up. It's brilliant that so many, of you come along to listen to what everyone's got to say. The guys have asked me just to speak to you about things that, well, some of us forget about. We get all excited, bikes have been sitting in the garage for months, and then we go to drag them out, and then all of a sudden, it's got a flat battery, or it's got a flat tire, or something like that. So basically, if the clicker will work for me, there we go. First thing I say to everyone, there's no silly questions. If you've got a question, ask it. Now, if you've got a modern bike and everything else, you've got a wee manual tucked away. If you've got an older bike, speak to a biker mate. If you don't know how to do it yourself, speak to somebody else. Ask the question. They're never going to tell you to, get lost. They're never going to turn a blind eye to it. They will help you out. We don't bite. Tires, like the helmets. We had the guys from Shui came up here. Tires, some people will only do 1,000 miles in a year. The bike will lie for months and months and months. The tires will deteriorate. Whether you think you're top rack and you want to go out in your sports bike, or, timid Tommy, as they're saying, you're getting out on your wee retro bike, you're toodling off for a coffee, make sure the rubber that's actually attaching you to the road is in the best condition it possibly can be. Checking it for lumps and bumps and cuts, checking how old the tires are, and just making sure there's air in them. It's simple stuff, but some people forget. And it's not until you jump on, you're all excited, hurtling off down the road, and it's like, the bike doesn't feel right, or, something. Just take a bit of time. Chains. Now, I'm a GS boy, so I've not got one of those to worry about, but you wouldn't believe in my job some of the bikes, the state of the chains that I see coming in, and it's just people get the bike serviced, or maybe don't get it serviced as part of the problem, and they ride it, and they ride it, and they ride it, and all the salt and the muck and everything else. We live in Scotland, It's cold and miserable, and there's 40-odd gritters kicking up and down the roads, chucking salt everywhere. Clean the chain, clean it, lubricate it, adjust it. If you don't know how to adjust it, again, ask. Take it to your local bike specialist. Take it to a dealer. Ask a mate who's a biker. I'm a newbie, 5 years at this, but, constantly asking questions, constantly finding out how to do things. I'll do some of it myself. There's other things that I'll still get people to do. So it's just one of those things that, if you don't look after it, the chains get dangerous. Chain could come off, it could snap. If it snaps, what's it going to do? You could end up getting thrown down the road. And if you've not got the proper kit on, that's why we're here tonight. That one little nugget of information, if it just flicks something in your head to say, I'll have a look at that, I'll see to that, I'll get a better helmet, it could just be the difference between, being here this year and still being here with us next year. Routine servicing. And believe me, this is not an advertising campaign for Motorrad Central's workshop, but it's one of these things. Take your bike and get it serviced. Or go and buy the parts, do it yourself, make sure you're looking after it. There's a couple of main things. It'll last longer if you service it. Put fresh oil in it. It'll just help it, sit there and be ready for you for the next ride. Well-maintained bikes, as it says, they'll ride smoother, they'll deliver better performance, and, not that any of us are worried about it, fuel economy helps as well. And cost savings. It's number one thing. Helmets. No one wants to spend 500-600 quid on a helmet. No one wants to spend 400 or 500 quid on a service. But if you don't service it and something goes wrong, and then it's not 400 or 500 quid, it's £1,000 for something that's gone wrong, or, So spend a little, keep on top of it, and the bike will look after you. On that, who knows how to check the oil in their bike? I mean, who does it? Hands up, you know. There you go. So there's still some hands that are down. If you don't know how to check the oil in your bike, look in the manual. Look online. Ask the guy sitting beside you. Or, you know, nip along to a bike cafe one day, the Glen Cafe, or, you know, down at South Queensferry. Ask somebody else, how do I check my oil? You know, they will help you. I tell loads of people, there's loads of guys sitting down there, pop in for a coffee with me. I'm quite open to being asking questions and, you know, going out and showing people things. If you don't know, I will help as well. So, yeah, that's it. Your brakes. They're probably more important to you, your brakes and being able to stop the bike, than the bit that makes it go fast and loud. Because if you go fast and loud and can't stop, then, you know, there's no point. What you can do, so visual checks, check your discs aren't sitting and completely crusted and rust from sitting for too long. Check there's no brake fluid all over the garage floor. And then just the other thing that a lot of people, they might do the corrosion checks, but they never actually check if the brake pipes are perished or corroded or anything like that. And the thing is, you could go, oh, I'm going to jump on the bike, first corner, big heavy brake in, pop a brake hose, and then you're in a lot of trouble. So just 10 minutes to do little visual checks really could make the difference. Brake tests. Whether it's a static brake test, sit on the bike. You know, grab a big handful of brake. Does it hold pressure? If it's spongy, if it's fading away underneath your hands, there could be a problem. You know, don't just assume that it's okay. And if you don't do a static brake test, at least do a wee moving brake check. You know, pull out your garage just as you go down to the bottom of the drive or the end of the street. Pull the brakes on when you're doing 15 mile an hour or so. Just make sure it stops. There's no point the first time you want brakes is 60 or 70 miles an hour and they don't work. You know, a few miles an hour we can deal with it. So, bike's lying in the garage all winter. As we say, you know, if you store your helmet in the garage, it's getting cold, it's getting warm, it's getting cold, it's getting warm. The batteries don't like it either. And a lot of modern machinery, like what's here, might have a lithium battery in it. They don't like it even more. Take it out of the bike if you want. Get a decent smart charger. Again, purely because of where I work. It's BMW stuff that's on the screen, but get a decent charger. Have it on charge somewhere with a reasonable temperature. You know, keep an eye on it, see what's going on. If the battery casing starts to bulge, if it starts to smell, if it's fuzzy or whatever, there's something wrong. Don't just assume that it's going to be okay. You know, look after it whilst it's not in use as well. Now, typical GS boy, I've got too many lights on my bike, obviously. Oh, hang on, too far. Let's go back. But why not? Be seen. You know, the police have just said to us there, be seen on the road. You know, put your lights on, put some more lights on if you want, wear your high vis, all these things, because, sorry mate, I didn't see you. It's not going to wash with any of us, really, and it hurts. So, you know, make sure you're there. If you want to wear all black gear, black helmet, be a black Power Ranger, that's absolutely fine. Put some lights on so you can see what's going on. And also, what I've said there is, in the garage, when it's sitting there, check that the lenses aren't cracked, they're not steamed up, lights aren't full of water and corroded and everything else, because, you know, it might look pretty, but if it's a goldfish bowl, you're going to have problems. So, top tip from me, and I don't know why it's on a white background now, but anyway, the ideal opportunity to check a lot of these things is when you've finished the last ride and you're putting the bike away and you're washing it, you're drying it, you're looking at everything in detail, you might find something. So don't then chuck it in the garage and wait until 2 minutes before you're going out on the bike the next time. It's going to give you an opportunity to top to toe on the bike, check everything out, and if there is an issue, you can talk to that pal about getting it fixed. You can book it in with the garage. You can nip down to the motor factors, get the parts and look after it. And the other thing that I've noted there that you can't see, unfortunately, these products. Use good quality products on your bike because, you know, ACF 50, I'll be honest, I didn't like it at first, but I've seen the benefits, you know, and if you're using your bike through the winter and stuff like that, it does help. It helps you battle the elements. Use good quality cleaning products because they will stop it from, you know, being attacked by various forces, whether it be the elements, you know, the sun and bits and pieces. And also, you know, it's your pride and joy. You spend a lot of money on them, you know, we all do. Keep it looking nice, look after it, it'll look after you. Same with your kit. So, yeah. As I say, I'm not special in any way at all. I'm just another guy, goes out on his bike, enjoys his bike, quite happy to help with things. It's one of these, if I can pass on something to you from these slides that you decide, yeah, I'm going to start looking at my brakes before I go out, I'm going to start looking at my tyres, that's all I want, you know, just someone to find something that they've not been doing before. And finally, just again, thanks very much to you all for coming. As the guys say, take another look. All right, cheers.
Thanks very much, Chiz. Very informative.